Picture this. It's early morning, maybe around 6:30. The house is quiet. You walk into the bathroom, flip on the light, and there it is again. That stubborn, ugly rust ring sitting in your toilet bowl like it owns the place. You cleaned it yesterday or maybe last week, but somehow it's back. And now you're thinking, do I really have to scrub this again? Your knees don't want it, your back definitely doesn't want it, and those harsh chemical cleaners, you already know. They burn your nose, irritate your hands, and honestly, they don't even work that well anymore. But here's the part nobody tells you, and this might surprise you. You don't actually need to scrub at all. Not even a little. And you definitely don't need strong acids or those expensive cleaners that promise miracles but deliver frustration. What if I told you that in the next 5 minutes, using things you likely already have at home, you can watch those rust stains literally fade away right in front of your eyes, without bending, without scrubbing, and without risking your safety? Stay with me because what I'm about to show you builds step by step, and each step gets easier, faster, and honestly, a little more satisfying to watch. And by the end, you'll know a simple routine that keeps those stains from ever coming back. Let's start with something most people get wrong, and this is important. Rust stains in your toilet aren't just dirt. They come from minerals in your water, especially iron. That's why no matter how much you scrub, they keep returning. So if you're only cleaning the surface, you're fighting the symptom, not the cause. And that's exactly why this first method works so well. It targets the stain at its source. Now here's where things get interesting. Go to your kitchen and grab one simple item. White vinegar. Yes, the same one you use for cooking. But here's the trick most people miss. You don't just pour it and walk away. There's a small detail that makes all the difference. Slowly pour about 1 cup of vinegar directly into the toilet bowl, making sure it spreads over the rust stains. And as it hits the surface, something subtle starts happening. Tiny bubbles, a faint reaction. That's the vinegar breaking down the mineral deposits. But don't flush, don't touch it yet. Give it just a minute. And while you wait, you'll notice the color of the stain starting to soften, almost like it's losing its grip. Now here's the part that surprises most people. You're still not going to scrub. Instead, take a piece of toilet paper or a soft cloth, soak it in vinegar, and gently place it directly over the toughest rust spots. This creates a kind of vinegar wrap that keeps the solution exactly where it's needed. And this is where the magic really starts. Give it another 2 minutes, just 2, and during this time, something almost unbelievable happens. The rust begins to loosen so much that when you finally do touch it, it practically slides away. But don't rush ahead yet because the next step makes this even more powerful. And this is where most cleaning routines fail if you skip it. Now you're going to add baking soda. Just sprinkle a small amount right over those vinegar-soaked areas. And the moment it touches the vinegar, you'll hear it, that soft fizzing sound. That reaction, that's what lifts the stain without force. No scrubbing, no pressure, just chemistry doing the work for you. And here's the part you'll want to watch closely because this is where the transformation happens. Take a toilet brush, but don't scrub like you normally would. Just gently move it across the surface, almost like you're guiding the foam rather than forcing anything. And as you do, you'll see the rust start to disappear in streaks, like it's melting away. At this point, you might be thinking, that's it? But hold on, because we're about to make this even easier, especially if bending or standing for long periods is uncomfortable. There's a second method that requires even less effort, and once you see it, you might never go back. Instead of vinegar and baking soda, you can use denture tablets. Yes, the same tablets used for cleaning dentures. Drop 2 or 3 into the toilet bowl and just let them dissolve. No mixing, no measuring, no effort. And here's the fascinating part. Those tablets are designed to break down tough buildup gently, which makes them perfect for rust stains. As they fizz, they release cleaning agents that go deep into the stain, loosening it from within. Give it 5 minutes. Don't touch anything, just watch. Because what happens next feels almost too easy to be real. The stains begin to fade on their own, and when you finally flush, the bowl looks cleaner, brighter, almost like new. But here's something most people don't realize, and this is where you can save yourself from ever dealing with this problem again. Rust stains come back because the minerals keep flowing through your water. So if you don't create a simple barrier, you'll be repeating this process over and over. And this final tip is what makes everything last. Take a small amount of vinegar and pour it into the tank of your toilet. Not the bowl, the tank. Just a cup. What this does is condition the water before it even reaches the bowl. So every time you flush, you're preventing new stains from forming. And here's the best part. You only need to do this once a week. That's it. No daily cleaning, no constant scrubbing, just a simple routine that keeps everything under control. Now think about this for a moment. No harsh chemicals, no bending down for long periods, no scrubbing until your hands ache. Just simple, safe methods that actually work. And if you've made it this far, you've already seen something most people never learn, that cleaning doesn't have to be hard to be effective. But we're not done yet, because there's one more trick, one that works even on the darkest, most stubborn rust stains, the kind that haven't moved in months. And once you see it, you'll wonder why nobody ever told you sooner. All right, now we're getting into the part most people never discover. And honestly, this is the moment where even the worst, darkest rust stains finally give up. Because up until now, everything you've seen works beautifully on light to moderate stains. But what about those deep, stubborn rings? The ones that look almost burned into the porcelain? The kind that makes you think, this isn't coming off unless I use something harsh. That's where this next method changes everything. And here's the surprising part. It's still completely safe, still no harsh acids, and still no aggressive scrubbing. But the way it works feels almost like a hidden trick professionals don't talk about. Go grab this one simple item, a pumice stone. Now, before you think, wait, isn't that rough? Here's the detail that makes all the difference. And if you skip this, you could damage your toilet. So pay close attention. The pumice stone must be wet, not slightly damp, fully soaked. Dip it in water for at least 30 seconds. This softens the stone just enough so it glides instead of scratches. That one small step is what makes this method safe for porcelain. Now, here's where things get interesting. Instead of attacking the stain, gently bring the pumice stone to the surface and move it lightly over the rust. No pressure, almost like you're testing it. And in that first pass, you might not see much happen. And that's exactly where most people go wrong. They press harder. Don't. Stay gentle, because something subtle is happening. The stone is slowly breaking the bond between the rust and the porcelain, not scraping it off, but loosening it. Now go over the same spot again, just as lightly. And this time, you'll start to see it. A faint line, a small, clean streak cutting through that dark rust ring. That's your signal, because once that first line appears, everything speeds up. Keep moving slowly, evenly, almost effortlessly, and suddenly the stain that looked permanent starts fading in sections, then in patches, and before you realize it, large parts of it are simply gone. No force, no struggle, just controlled, gentle movement. And here's the part that surprises most people. You'll feel the difference before you even see it. The surface becomes smoother under the stone. That rough, gritty resistance disappears. That's how you know the rust is gone. Now, pause for a second, because what you do next determines whether that stain comes back tomorrow or stays gone for good. Rinse the area by flushing once, just one flush. Look closely. If there's even a faint shadow left, don't rush back in aggressively. Instead, combine what you already learned. Add a little vinegar again, let it sit for a minute, and then go back with the pumice stone, but even lighter this time. And this is where the real transformation happens, because now, instead of fighting the stain, you're finishing it. Within seconds, the last traces disappear, and when the water settles, you're left staring at something most people don't expect, a completely clean, bright bowl with no sign that there was ever a stain there at all. Now, here's the critical question, and most people ignore this part. Why do some toilets stay clean after this, while others get stained again within days? The answer isn't cleaning, it's prevention, and this final system is what separates a one-time fix from a long-term solution. You already saw how vinegar helps in the tank, but let's make it even smarter and even easier.
Take a small plastic bottle, fill it with white vinegar, and poke a tiny hole in the cap. Place it inside the toilet tank, standing upright where it won't block any moving parts. What this does is incredibly clever. Every time you flush, a small amount of vinegar slowly releases into the water. Not enough to smell, not enough to damage anything, but just enough to neutralize those iron minerals before they settle in your bowl. So instead of cleaning rust, you stop it from forming in the first place. And here's what that means for you. Less cleaning, less effort, less time spent bending or scrubbing, just a system quietly working in the background. Now think about the difference. Before, you saw stains, you scrubbed, they came back. Now you understand why they form, how to remove them gently, and how to stop them from returning. That's a completely different level of control. But there's still one more thing, and this is something people only realize after it's too late. Even clean-looking toilets can hide a thin layer of buildup you can't easily see, and over time, that layer becomes the perfect surface for rust to grab onto again. So in the next part, I'll show you a 30-second weekly habit that keeps your toilet not just clean, but resistant to stains altogether. It's simple, but once you start doing it, you'll notice the difference almost immediately.
Now, here's the part most people underestimate, and that's exactly why the problem quietly comes back weeks later without warning. Because even when your toilet looks clean, there's often a thin, invisible layer still sitting on the surface. A layer you can't easily see, but one that acts like a magnet for rust the moment mineral-rich water touches it again. And this is where everything you've done so far either lasts for months or slowly fades away. So instead of waiting for stains to return, you're going to stay one step ahead with a simple 30-second habit. And the way it works is almost too easy. Once a week, preferably on the same day so you don't forget, pour half a cup of white vinegar directly into the toilet bowl right before you go to bed. Not during the day, not when you're about to use the bathroom again, right before bed. Because now, something powerful happens while you sleep. For the next 6 to 8 hours, that vinegar sits quietly in the bowl, breaking down any early mineral buildup before it has a chance to turn into visible rest. No scrubbing, no effort, just time doing the work for you. And when you wake up in the morning, you simply flush. That's it. But here's the detail most people miss, and this is what turns a good habit into a long-term solution. Every 2 weeks, take it one step further. Add a light sprinkle of baking soda after the vinegar, just like you did earlier. But this time, you don't even need to watch it or guide it. Let it fizz, let it settle, and walk away. What you're doing here is resetting the surface of the porcelain, keeping it smooth, clean, and resistant so stains have nothing to cling to. And if you want to make this even easier, especially if bending down or spending time in the bathroom feels like a chore, keep a small bottle of vinegar nearby, somewhere you can reach without effort. Because the easier you make this routine, the more consistent it becomes. And consistency is what keeps the problem from ever coming back. Now pause for a moment and think about how different this is from what most people do. No harsh chemicals filling the air, no scrubbing until your hands or back hurt, no frustration seeing the same stains return again and again. Instead, you've got a system. You know how to remove fresh stains in minutes. You know how to erase stubborn, deep stains safely. And most importantly, you know how to stop them before they even begin. That's the part most people never learn. And once you understand it, cleaning stops feeling like a chore and starts feeling controlled, predictable, almost effortless. Now imagine walking into your bathroom a week from now, 2 weeks from now, even a month from now, and the bowl still looks just as clean as it does today. No surprise stains, no sudden buildup, just a result that stays consistent without extra effort. That's what this routine gives you. And if you've followed along up to this point, you've already done the hardest part. Not the cleaning, but learning what actually works and what's just wasting your time. So here's what I want you to do next.
Don't wait for the stains to come back. Try just one of these methods tonight, the vinegar soak, the Denture tablets, or that quick weekly habit, and see what happens by morning. Because once you see that difference with your own eyes, it changes the way you approach this completely. And if you found even one of these tips useful, stay with me, because there are more simple fixes like this that make everyday problems easier, safer, and a lot less frustrating, especially when you want results without extra effort. Because at the end of the day, it's not about cleaning harder, it's about cleaning smarter and making sure you never have to deal with the same problem twice.